gamma rays, change resist earth gravity. Nirvana's my mind state, my Cuban link drop jewels. It's a full moon, eyes red, made it easy around. And it's kryptonite matter found, it's going down. Energy mixed with sound. Super Negro, what? Super Negro, Super Negro, what? From a block, 37 thugs got slaughtered. Where's the my blood mixed with dirt? Who's next if she's first? Chalk hug the earth. Silhouettes of blacks that's cursed. Bell ring, playtime, break outside. Roll around crayon, color my mind. Hit the spot, count my math. A plus they pass. Good. Today ain't gotta kick nobody ass. No maybe. Check my bitch spot and make sure she's playing hot shots with rocks and not hopping on another nigga's cock. They almost lost the key. They found it on me, 30,000 and I'm free. Walk with me across the street, talk with me past the beat. Generally, pockets thicker than slump from Mississippi. Tip powder, in the hole that blow envy. Step up, you with me. They go to police, go on the beat. Act like you sad, it can't be. I like to be staged, baby, turn the page to the crazy. Graduate my rage.
What's up with you?
Hey, shit,
we ain't did this in a while. They try to put us to sleep with the Richardson shit, then they fully. You know what I'm talking about? They give us big house cars, like niggas stop talking. Y'all please be quiet. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't do it no other way, so they gave us the bread. They like, fuck the poor righteous teachers, the rich righteous teachers, maybe they'll go to sleep. See, we gotta get back down, Joe. But why we gotta get back down? What's the difference between now and then? And then do the intro, you know, shout out.
Well, before we, let's just, real quick, before we get all into it, tonight's show brought to you by HOODX Television Network. You know what I'm saying? All over HOODX.com. Just to make sure you sign up for HOODX Television Network. Take a look so you get your video aired nationwide through Comcast Network. You know what I'm saying? But, we ain't done this in a while. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about a couple of times we were trying to put it back together. But, it's what I realized is that, I was trying to practice season 1, season 2, season 3, you know what I'm saying, depending on different episodes. And as I was taking the old seasons down, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't taking them down, I was just blocking them, you know what I'm saying, on TalkShoe, and I'm basically archiving them. But TalkShoe archive, you know what I'm saying, basically it started erasing them, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the episodes I did have backed up, you know what I'm saying, but it was really just one or two. It was two of them. It was this one, basically, Supreme Mummification and Jezebel, that basically got lost in the ether, you know what I'm saying? That was about basically 7 of them. They all got pulled down, so I kept 5 of them backed up, but 2 of them is basically gone. You know what I'm saying? Come on. I'm just breaking it down to you. The shit gone. So
that's
we got
too much. That's right. We don't. That's just say the shit gone. That's nasty. That shit making me. You got numbers. I'm actually doing homework in my head. Come on, let's do this.
That's what it is. I'm trying to get them back, but in the meanwhile, we gonna keep it moving. So like,
why we come back? Why? Okay. Did we do the intro? Did we get? If you ain't signed up, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's Pomo. If you haven't, please do. Sign up for my website, godspeedmean.com. Tonight's show is brought to you by godspeedmean.com and HOODX.com. And basically, we're going to talk about Supreme Mummification. And the reason we're talking about it is because we lost the file. So we're going to update it and bring it back to you 2.0. And as like Blau was saying, and I asked him earlier, why is we coming back, Blau? Why do you feel, what's the between now and then?
That's what the fuck I just said, dude. I just said exactly it.
Oh, okay. Well, what's the difference between now and then? Why you feeling we should come back? You know, is it that you were receiving information?
We ain't halfway done. We wasn't even halfway done, man. We didn't even get a fourth of the way done. We was still, it's too much shit. You know what I'm saying? We got to turn these episodes out. We got to get out. And now you like, I won't say we wasn't done. We just started doing other shit. And then like we were still building. We were still putting out content. You know what I'm saying? You check the Godspeed like page on Facebook. You check the, you know what I'm saying, the Godspeed Nation group. You know what I'm saying? We were still putting out content. You know what I'm saying? You got your YouTube channel up cracking. You know what I'm saying? It was just, we wasn't doing the lit on talk. You know what I'm saying? So it is important that we come back and, you know what I'm saying, just keep going.
Fix your mic. Fix your mic, bro.
Yo, mic check, 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I got you now. I ain't gonna let you go out like that. You do the same for me.
Well, yeah, what's the difference between you? What's going on with you right now?
Well, like you said, we was tending to other things, and we was kind of silent with it. You know, we just get everybody something to feed off every day just to build up to this point. And now you should have plenty of questions. But like I normally know how we get out, it's all answers mean no questions. But hopefully we got some questions. You know, we like to be challenged. And I feel like we need to do this because we're in a new time. This is more easily received now, more ever than before. You know what I'm what I'm saying? That's why they're giving us the information in the time that we was going to receive it. They flooded us with it. So now it's a thing of too much information. Now you got to figure out how to decipher the shit. Because if they held it back, the little bit we get, we was going to ride with it. So now it's the same thing that's holding it back. But they're giving us too much of it.
Information overload.
Yeah, and what we do is give you a navigational tool of discernment. Meaning it's a way to navigate pick under the Tahiti Act, second spirit, wisdom, understanding, you know what I'm saying, is to pick through the bullshit and what's real. But basically it's not even real or fake no more, it's what tends to you, which you can add on to what you feel and how you been getting down, as long as it can feed a whole package. And this ain't just for knowing, it's for doing. I got a theory. I was riding down the street. Let me get this out real quick before I forget. And it was a dog. It was a white dog with white black spots. He was running. You know what I'm saying? I thought about Larry, and I thought what you told me about a while ago. I said, damn, dog just flew across the street. I said, he has no perception that this is a street. So if he was given the perception of this is a street, then he'll see the world in a whole nother way. But the irony of that is becoming the dog realizing he a dog. So that's like the God body or the goon realizing, or the black man and woman realizing they God body. They get a different perception of the world. Just like the dog will say, okay, this street don't look like one big road. It got sections where I need to be conscious. Right. Now, the irony of him knowing this is that it's a certain, so we say, misery that comes with it. The gift and the curse is that he's not enjoying licking his ass and sniffing ass no more. So that's the guys looking at other niggas like, now go to the club, get it in, get drunk. And they enjoying that, but the guy really can't enjoy that like that. So a lot of shit he used to enjoy, he can't enjoy it no more. So it seems like the man next to him is real happy. That's just like the dog. He's Larry looking around like, you know, he's so aware of himself, you think he's human. But just the minute, like you say, he start licking his ass, you're like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? So once the dog will be aware that he's a dog, he's not finding enjoyment in licking his ass. You see what I'm saying? And they just, we can go to the ass sniffing party. He's like, I don't really like that. So he has to find other things to enjoy because he's woke now. You know what I'm saying? I just had to get that analogy out.
That going to what we talking about, which is today's topic, which is supreme mummification. But before I even go, let me ask you this. Since we haven't been building, you know what I'm saying, you know, in the theme of mummification, I think I already know the answer to this, but like, you know what I'm saying, what state would you say you've been in, you know what I'm saying, in the meanwhile? You know what I'm saying, since we haven't been putting this out, you know, would you say you've been in a state of mummification? Would you say you in a state of awareness, or like, you know what I'm saying, how would you describe your state, you know what I'm saying, in between time?
30 days, 30 nights. I would say Jesus what do you do in the mountain or some shit? He went up in the mountains for 30 days, 30 nights. So I built with the wind. I talked to myself in my mind. I built with my mind. And you see what I'm saying? I built with myself. I actually just was more of a perceiver. So, yes, under the Mummification Act, I wasn't really an interactor of reality at those times. I was more of a perceiver. So I did less, and I said less, did less, and absorbed more. You see what I'm saying? At that time, I slowed down my heart rate, you know, because you get hyped when you're building like that. So slowing down my heart rate, I was able to stay calm. So really, I've been in the mummification mode.
So
it's like, you know, the Buddha, go
ahead.
Like a lot of people like Malcolm, when the minister told him to shut up, he had a hard time shutting up. We do that naturally. I said, okay, it's time to be quiet. The minister didn't tell him to shut up. He told him to shut up because niggas need to go be quiet and go within and talk, work on within. Build with the wind, build with yourself, you know, send your thoughts to the wind. Stand up looking on top of your roof or on the mountain, looking to the sun and absorb those thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Time alone, quietness, you know, that type of shit. That's basically what he was telling them, go build with the wind because you're going into another phase. So it's like supreme.
When we talk about this, it was real hard for me to do just that, which was to, like, I'm like, oh, gotta do a show, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I didn't really understand that I didn't, you know, I'm an Aquarius, so I understand it's like
okay, yeah. For you, it's like, let me get time to gather my thoughts. It's that saying. As soon as that, I gotta gather my thoughts.
Right.
You know, they're everywhere. You gotta gather them, and then look at them, hold them, absorb them, and then proceed, instead of they all over the place and you chase them. But at the time, even in that, along aloneness, quietness, or solitude, or kind of offishness state of everybody else, or not really interacting, getting down with the knowledge of doing creativity outside of the physical, you find it's a gateway or a doorway to supreme mummification. You still kind of get the same effect as if you sat on your couch and just ignored all the thoughts, or not ignored, but observed all the thoughts, but ignored them physically, meaning is you just observed them. You didn't actually act on them. Well, I ain't trying to get that far So let's start, I ain't trying to get that far.
So that's exactly what she was about to go into. And like me, I need a simple, just like, you know, it's like, take my, that. It's like, okay, well.
Phone, your phone. Your mic.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, your mic going in and out.
Let me go. No, it's a thing that, it's one thing to be like, for me to, like, this ain't one of them, but.
You bogus again.
I need a symbol that, can you hear me?
I don't know, like your mic is going in and out.
Hold on. Okay. Do like this. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you don't go in and out.
I need a symbol there. I need something there, to like the bastard language. It's one thing to say, okay, cut that thought off, but then it's another thing to actually have a symbol there, you know what I'm saying, to actually walk you through the thought. You know what I'm saying? And like that's what supreme mummification is to me, and that like, you had broke it down once and then you said, like a mummy, when they wrap a mummy, it's like, you know what I'm saying, it's what you're doing to yourself. It's basically, you kind of explain it in a scenario like that. It was like, okay, piece by piece, layer by layer, you mummifying yourself. You know what I'm saying? You tying all that energy and all that ungrounded wild ass energy in. You know what I'm saying? You mummifying yourself.
Right, and that you containing it, you harnessing it, and you using it to direct that energy, them thoughts, as they direct it, you gather them. So you harness it when you gather them and perceive them. When you perceive them, you can send them any way you want. That's a force. You can send them. But it's like an anxiety. I'm going to tell you some deep knowledge. It's like an anxiety. Whenever you get anxiety, it's like that movie I forgot, The Assassinated, but whenever you get anxiety, that's not really anxiety. That's your mind harnessing the power. So then your body starts feeling nervous, you start getting jittery. If you can get past that, calm your mind, breathe, calm yourself, and then focus on the thought at hand of what you need to happen, it's going to happen. But the more anxiety you get, that's really the more power you got. It's like putting your hand in the socket. Gather the power. That's how it's going to feel. The electricity is just really anxiety. That's what they call anxiety. But that's a harnessing of power. Now, when you can calm yourself, you focusing and directing on power. When it overpowers you, you short out. And that illusion that was preceded before you takes over. So you take it in and make it real. So the supreme mummification, they take a lot of breathing, gut more breathing from the belly. Count to 10, breathe out, count to 10. Keep doing that shit till, like Buddha did, he did one breath per minute. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you motherfuckers gonna start vibrating. You don't want to do that. I hate that shit, and I thought I vibrated out the car. I was sitting there with my wife, and I was like, I heard the engine. I heard the engine knocking, and I was like, whoa! I almost went out of existence. And I came back and I asked her, was I cool? She didn't know nothing. I don't do that shit too much often. Breathing once a minute. Shit. Damn, but I do the 10. The 20 gonna make you like you high. Do the 20 when you in supreme mummification. You breathe in, count to 20. Then breathe out, count to 20. And you keep doing that, you're gonna notice. Everything gonna leave. It's like, instant. Now, in that man of blankness, that's your one. That's your cheat. But when all of them, like I say, supreme mummification, you spend less money. Because half the time you don't realize a lot of them thoughts coming in your mind is egging you to do something. So now you want to, them thoughts ain't yours. They coming from the atmosphere. So once like a wireless receiver, you the TV screen, they pull it in, focus in your mind, image, you want to go to McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? You want to go here, you should do this, you should do that. It's like $200 you just spent off thoughts. When all you had to do is observe and don't move. So the preservation of the energy, it's really ruthless. When you don't have to move, don't move. Just lay in a mummified state. Then when you move, you move. Sometimes you go into a dream state, and it's like, say, if you go to sleep for 3 or 4, 5 days, like, just say, sleep more than you was in the, unplugged from the matrix. Stay mummified, stay sleep, less motion, no motion, more than you did motion. Then you gonna be like, you in this world, but you're not of this world. That's when you're going to feel that. So, like, I used to sleep like 10 hours, not really sleep, but stay in a dream-like state unless I was called to move. And when I went to the store, I went here, everything was different. It was more like I was a perceiver. I used to study people. It was more, I felt that I wasn't connected. Even though I was there, I wasn't there. And it's a beautiful thing because all them emotions and that, all that passes right past you. It's like you're a ghost. You know what I'm saying? You got to describe. It's hard to describe. But you be like a ghost.
Let me go to this.
Oh, yeah.
Sit back, number one. This is on HOODX link, also on Godspeed Nation on Supreme Mummification. Or you can just Google Supreme Mummification. Number one, sit back, relax. All you got to do is breathe. Show no outward or inward emotion. Now, that's easy advice to say, sit back, relax. All you got to do is breathe. Show no outward or inward emotion. When you think that, when we were just talking about outward emotion, it's one thing to deal with, but you're also saying show no inward emotion. So how do you not show no inward emotion?
Like when you breathe, them thoughts leave. When your person talking to you, you thinking these thoughts. Just block out all that and then react. That's no inward. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what I play.
Most motherfuckers don't separate the thought like that, and then like, okay, you got a bunch of outward shit going out, but then you got other shit coming in. So it's like you gotta be.
But the outforce is only the outforce that you put out at that particular time is only a reflective of what's coming in. You see what I'm saying? But what you want to reverse that. You want to reverse that. Nothing gets in. You see what I'm saying? So nothing comes out unless you will it to. You to move because you want to move. You move because the nigga was standing there. That's an outforce that caused you to move that way from within. No, you want to be able to make that nigga move. That's how it is when you do blank that shit out. You walk up towards him in a way, he's going to automatically move because now the out is pushing in, the in is pushing out, meaning your will.
Right.
So anything happen, your car fucked up, this happen, don't think the future thoughts like, oh shit, this, that, don't think nothing. Breathe, relax. And then the harness of the anxiety of what just happened, the power's going to harness. So when the motherfuckers they ain't got no insurance, they go $1,000 and you just got a little scratch. He gonna go to jail. See, you'll never know this gonna happen. But when you think these fucked up thoughts, meaning the external force of what just happened, observe you from what it goes into you, you think, oh shit. So now it's gonna play out like that because it's like a circle. A circle, it comes around, goes into you, go back out, your thought, go into the reality. Once it hits the reality, it plays out how you thinking it. A circle. Versus you reversing the circle. So you pulling from within and then filtering it through your power, all that, pushing it back out. So now you filtering it through you by pulling it in, willing it through you, pushing it out. So by the time it hit reality that way, it's like you want it. I'm not thinking. I'm not saying anything, you know what I'm saying? It's like a situation. I got 5 minutes to be here. The person going slow in front of me. I'm thinking, shit, I gotta be there. That's too much taking in. Versus I don't think shit. This nigga get the fuck out the way. I can go 100 miles an hour down time. The anxiety of me waiting on this motherfucker going slow is you know how that feeling is. That's the power, but you gotta yeah, supreme mummification. Don't even act on half this shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't even, it's a look in that. It's a God look, God body look, a goddess look when the man can look a woman or a woman can look a man in the eye and she can see this nigga in a calmness to him, you know what I'm saying? Because he's not thinking. You know what I'm saying? He's not thinking I'm trying to hit this, I'm trying to do this. He's not thinking of nothing. He's just living in the moment.
Right. With no agendas or nothing.
I didn't even think about time or what she feeling, none of that. It's gonna go his way. So that's what I mean. Huh?
How do you know it's going to go your way?
Because you sitting there blocking all them thoughts. When you realize that's all them thoughts, you hear the same thoughts she hear. She hear the same thoughts you hear. You know what I'm saying? They all come from the atmosphere. It's just who's going to receive them. And you hear that, well, I want sex. She's hearing the same thought. But what she do is say, okay, I'm going to block that thought. The nigga's going to receive it. He's like, oh, yeah, he take it in. So now he's speaking before she, chasing her.
Right, damn.
Versus he's not thinking that he blocking it out. She blocking it out. She's really, she gonna receive it more because he's more aware.
It's really about the ability to control your thoughts.
HOODX, nigga. Blowing to the ether. Rubber bands, walk the walk. Proud to the universal mercy. DX, nigga. Rubber bands, walk the walk. Wild God splitting platinum colors. In these days, crack is the draw. When the black side is the back of the door. Let's bring it back. The fun, the instrumental, pour love, the flow. Light speed, I travel, space is time. The gravel be lined, the earth is dark with a twisted dime. Why you crying? Complete my way back home. Broke the whole zone, knowledge meets the pistol. In these days, niggas don't know which way to go. But nigga, just be the intro. HOODX, nigga.com. Just be the intro. Protection from my Lord, spiritual immunity. Now I'm still in the match the witchcraft. Broke the features of night. Wormwood and Maywood is your hood. Black and body, suspended breath. My lyrics bionic. The poor geographic art. Caught the spark in the dark. Too strong for the bullshit. Home, pervert the right side. Pervert the action. Left me in line. Side who have caught. Control what have like knowledge of rock. Masters of metaphors. Hell feel power. Even the rabbit had it carry. We call them Jews. Now you pass, you hear your way through up ill blocks, laced with rock traps of back, dominate the thinking like that. Society ladies, voluntary follows of corruption and order, pissed off the ruler, the absolute illusion, Chanel and Chanel, their thoughts, time to devour 50 powers of the hour, create the forces of the hour. One. HOODX, nigga.com. We beat the fucking intro. HOODX, nigga. HOODX is in the house. HOODX. Kblao in the house. This be the intro. HOODX.